All right, so let's start to work on the header of the card for the time being. Okay, so things aren't looking too different, right? Because I just kind of haven't really done much. But we're going to think about how we're actually going to be structuring this. So I need a title and a subtitle first, so let's grab that. So inside of C header avatar title, I'm going to put Megan Rapinoe. And I'm pretty sure, I think there's probably an H. Let's ask the internet. Okay. Cool. So no H. Sorry, Megan. And then subtitle, let's say forward. All right. That's the position she's playing right now. Okay. So, and then let's also get an image for our avatar. Okay. So I've previously downloaded a couple images that I meant to throw in this assets file. So let me do that now. Downloads. All right, so I got a couple soccer players, and I got what I think is hopefully actually a PNG. Perfect. Okay, so we'll upload those, friends. Okay, so I'm going to grab this one to start off with. Just grab the CDN. Okay, and I am going to have it over my HTML. This is going to be kind of ugly. And I'm just going to link it in this avatar as an image. So image tag, img. Let's close it out first, and then we'll do our src attribute friend, and then we'll put the URL in there. Oh no, come back. Why? Great. Okay. So we should have a huge image, right? It's going to be a huge image. But we're going to scale it. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to go in and I'm going to target this. Well, let's first work with the. Well, okay, so we're going to think about this in terms of a flexbox to begin with. So actually, I think what I will do is I'm just gonna comment this out just for the time being. We're gonna back up like 4 steps. Okay, and then I'm also gonna comment these out just for a second because we're gonna just kind of build this stack right now. Okay, so I'm gonna target avatar, title stack, media, text, and action. All right, so actually no, header. Okay, so we're gonna do header first, and then we're also gonna target the we're gonna use card 1. Let's do that first. Okay, so card 1, I'm gonna put it over here on my, whoops, over here. And I'm gonna use card 1. No, wait, should I use card? 1 second. Let me figure this out. Yeah, we're gonna use card, not card 1, because card, well, we'd have to do style everything again if we use card 1. We're gonna use card. Okay, sorry, I lied to you. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a display flex. And then we're gonna do a flex direction column. Y'all see that? I caught that one myself. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to give some background colors and heights to the individual containers just so we can see how everything is going to look, and then we'll start to put our content in. So I jumped ahead just a little bit. So I'm going to do, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab all of this, and I'm going to put it in my HTML. And if you're like, what's happening? I'm just being lazy. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get the things that I've named from here. And just make sure, if you're going to do this technique, just make sure you're like really paying attention to what you've pasted in. and then what you'll go in and delete, because you might be mad at yourself for like leaving some weird syntax. So I literally just pasted this in so that I could just like grab the names of things and not have to like keep checking back because I'm bad at spelling. Okay, cool. So those are my sections, right? Header. Actually, we don't have to worry about the avatar just yet, or the title stack. So let's not worry about, you know what? I'll put them down here just for the time being, because I'm definitely going to use those to style stuff. Okay, so we have the 4 main sections. So if we look here, we have four sections. So we have 3. Okay, so we have the title, the image, and then this area, which they have sort of broken down into 2 sections, I believe. So it's like this section and then this section here. So like, for instance, if I grabbed this, so they've just broken those down into 2 sections just to keep it a little more organized. So I'll probably just do the same thing. So I have those 4 sections, and so I'm going to target those. And these are going to be classes, and they are in a flexbox, right? So they're in this the card flexbox, which is a column. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give these a background color. I'm just going to give them different colors just for the time being. Let's just do blue. Yeah, we'll keep that one red. And then we'll do blue. Okay, and then these are going to need a flex, right? So we'll just say, for the time being, we'll just say a flex of 1 on all of them so that they'll all fill the same space, just to begin with. All right, so we're just building out our containers. Okay, so here we go. So now we have those different sections, and I think I will make these taller. So I think I will make this about 75. And then we can just kind of have a little scrolling option here. And let's also just real quick make our general screen taller. So let's do like 250 maybe. I think maybe we need a little more. Let's say 320. Cool. Okay, we can fix that later. Because it's not a bad thing to have like scrolling content on your app, especially if it's a page like this. Okay, so based on what we have here is, it looks like if we're going to be breaking this out into a flexbox, these 2 are going to be the same. This one's going to be slightly larger, right? So if we look at that like this, these 2 are exactly the same. This section's the biggest, and then this section is slightly larger than the bottom 2 sections. So maybe I'll go with like, in terms of flexbox, maybe I'll try like a 2, or maybe a 1.5, a 3, a 1, and a 1, right? Because remember, the bigger the number, the more amount of space it will take up. So let's try that. So I'll go with a, and let's just leave ourselves with comments, card sections. Okay, so let's do, like I said, let's try like 1.5. We'll try a 3 for the image, and then we'll keep our 1 and 1. Let's see how that renders out. Okay, that's actually pretty spot on. All right, so now we just have our like little sections. And now what we're going to do is we're going to style the stuff inside of it. So this is part of a flexbox, but we can make a flexbox, we can make a flexbox into a flexbox, and that's what we're going to do. So this section here, I'm going to target this section first because I want stuff here and I want stuff here. Okay, so I'm gonna use a flexbox to break that out into these 2 sections, and I'm gonna use that with. So what I'm going to be looking at here is I'm looking at this header section. So I will turn this back on. Okay. And I'm gonna first work on, oh no, so let's look at this, let's look at the header first. So in the header, see header, this has a flex, but I'm also gonna make it a display flex. And I'm gonna say flex direction row. Because, okay, so the difference is that this flex pertains to this thing's parent, which is this. This display flex in the flex direction refers to its child, which is going to be the avatar and then my title and my subtitle, okay? So let's go ahead and let's bring those in. So I'm going to target avatar. All right, so let's target avatar. And let's also really quickly target avatar-img, just so we can resize that image because it's huge. I'm just going to give it a width, and let's say like 3 VW. That might be like way too tiny. I don't know. Let's try like 8 VW. And let's just make sure that that takes care of that size. Okay, perfect. So that's like almost exactly the size that I want it to be. Maybe slightly smaller, but we'll work with that moving forward. Okay, so we'll leave that there just for the time being, and then for avatar, and then the other thing that we're going to need, let's just indent this a little so that we know, you know, this kind of has a relationship to that. Let's also grab the title stack, because that's going to be, that's this div here, and it has the title and the subtitle in it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to sort of organize those and get those styled out. So, okay, I'll put this here. And again, like, you know, your order doesn't matter so much because it'll all render out, but I'm just trying to keep things a little organized. All right, so what we'll do is, again, these are the children of header, okay? So I might actually just indent all of this so that when I look at this real quick, I'll be like, oh, okay, this stuff's inside of this stuff, right? We could also like go one better and indent all of this, maybe like 1 or 2 times, so that we know like, oh, okay, this is card, and then these are like all cards children. If you want, that's up to you. All right, so let's target avatar. So because avatar is going to be the child, which is sort of using this, we're going to give this a flex. And we're going to give this a flex of 1. And then we're going to give the title stack. We don't have to worry about this because this is inside of there. We're going to give the title stack. We want that to take up way more space. Okay? And we're going to give that a flex of maybe like 4 or something like that. So let's see what that does for us. Okay, cool. So let's look at this through the web inspector. So if we go to screen header, nope, I lied. I want, yeah, this one, not screen header, cards, card 1. Okay, so here's the header. Here's what's inside of this little header here. The avatar is taking up that much space, and the title stack is taking up this much space. So that's kind of exactly what we want. So let's work on this avatar. Maybe let's try to do like a text align center moment. So it'll center itself in there. And then we also might want to give it just like, maybe we want to make it a tiny bit smaller, or we can just give it like a padding of 1 VW. That'll obviously increase the size, but I think that looks a lot better. And this isn't like, there's not so much conflict. We may even want to increase that to like 1.5, just so there's not like so much tension around here. And then once we get rid of this background, this won't look so shitty. Okay, so we'll try that. That's going to get our icon looking, or the avatar, as Google would call it, looking the way that we want it to. So I'll put that in here. Meow, meow, meow. Okay, and then what's next? Okay, so this type. Let's work on the type. Let's close this up. The title stack. Okay, so what we can do here is we'll just kind of leave the title stack alone because we really just want it to use it to make the space. And then if we just work with maybe title, what we can do is let's just put some margin on that. So we'll just do margin. Yeah, we'll just do the margin shorthand for now. Oh my goodness. Margin. So top right, bottom left. So we'll do maybe 2 VW on the top. So maybe we want it to kind of line up with this edge here. And although we might also just want to think about the font size real quick. Yeah, that could work. Maybe just like a tiny bit bigger. Ooh, I like that. That actually looks really nice. And then maybe we want like a little bit less margin. Yeah, that's kind of nice. And then top right, bottom left. I think we just want a little margin in between here still. So let's do maybe like 2 VW. Okay, great. So we want to move this with that as well. So we can also just put that same amount of margin on the subtitle as well. And I kind of like this as is. Now this might change a little bit once we go get, once we put our font in there as well. So let's head back here. I'm just going to use these and I'm going to go to, okay, so we're going to bring in some children of, so remember there's two things inside of the title stack. So let's bring in those babies. The title stack babies. Okay, so we got title and subtitle. I'll copy this one because it has some camel case. Title should be easy enough for me to type, but truly you never know. Okay, so subtitle. Oh, cut it out. No. And then also title with a lowercase friend. Okay, and then I'll just indent these so that I know these are the children of this friend. Okay, and so I'm going to put these two properties and values in the title because that's what we were just messing with. Oh my goodness, stop. Go here. Great. Okay, and then for the margin on this one, on the subtitle, I just want it to line up with title. So I don't want to do the top here. I'm going to put a 0 there. I just want to do the one that's on the left. Okay, and then in the title stack too, I know I'm going to want the type to be the color. I think I'm going to want to be, let's go with our dark purple there. Let's see what that looks like. We can kind of have some fun with it later. And then since we're kind of almost done with this section, let's also, and I'm putting this color on the title stack because I want it to apply to both these things. Let's also grab our font. Where do we put that? That's going to be in the screen header. So, nope, that's in the H1. So I'm just going to do the font family, letter spacing. I'll keep it consistent with the titles, okay? So I'll grab this, and then I'm going to put that in the, I'm going to put it in title stack so that it applies to both those things. All right. Okay. And then because this has like a certain amount of spacing and all that good stuff, we'll have to make a little bit of changes to the margin and padding and whatnot. But that's all sort of like the perfecting stuff. Let's get rid of this background and let's see what our purple looks like on there. So let's get rid of, I want to get rid of this background color red. We just want that to be white, at least for now. Look at us, that's cute. Okay, and then let's do a little surgery on our type since we're here. So we have title stack, okay, font weight, letter spacing. We could try line height, okay, and that will collapse our line height here. All right, So about 6 VW on the line height on title stack. Oh, where'd my, oh, here we go. So I'm on title stack. Let's do line height. And then let's also do, give me this. Let's also take a look at the title stack, title. I think I want to give it a tiny bit more margin on the top. So maybe just one more margin because we want this to be like pixel perfect. I think that's okay. I think it still needs a little bit of a little more space down here. There's something that's still a little awkward about it. Maybe we want to do a tiny bit less space here. Also, it might be that letter spacing. I like the letter spacing here, but here it looks a little too separate. So, I know, Frank. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to title. Yeah, and I'll switch this stuff. Oh, it's the same. Haha. And then I'll do a little less letter spacing. So let's just do like let's do 0.1 there. I think that's going to look a lot better. Yeah, that looks so much better already. And I do think I want to add maybe 6.5 on the, maybe 5.5 on the margin for the top. So that moves it down just a tiny bit. And I actually think that's looking pretty good. You could resolve the spacing like a little bit more, but for the time being, I think we'll leave it. Okay, so now let's work on getting our image in here. So let's figure out where that image is and what's happening with that. So I'll use the web inspector to see what's happening there, if that's coming through. So I'm going to go to the media, and here's my image. And, it's not coming up. Interesting. That's kind of weird. Okay, let's problem solve that, because if I'm having this issue, maybe y'all will have the same issue. So my image, yeah, my image isn't coming up at all. See image, image tag. Well, and it's also not getting our style for that. So let's try this. This isn't quite validating. Not 100% sure why. Oh wait, hang on. No, I'm just being a dum-dum. This is the avatar. You can just ignore everything I just said right now. This is the icon. We actually didn't put our, here's the image. So I just didn't link the image. That's why it's not in there. SRC. Okay, so I'm working in, right now I'm working in this section now. Okay? So I'm in C media. I'm doing that image tag that's inside of C image. SRC equals, and then I'm going to grab this image here. All right, and let's head back here. Let's throw that in there. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is C media, C image. I'm going to target C image IMG to begin with. So we're going to head on over to where C media is, okay? And then again, I'll indent a bit. All right, and then I know I'm going to want to do that C IMG space IMG, and I'm just going to give this a width just to control the width of that image. Let's just do 10 VW for the time being. Okay, so there's my image. It's a tiny baby image, 10 VW. I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do this. So let's do it in here. So I'm going to try to say with auto. No. No, okay. Let's just try with. Okay, cool. So width of 75 will kind of get us this style, but it's obviously going over the size that we gave for this individual container. But I am kind of liking the way that this looks, so I may actually just leave this as is. So let's leave this as is, and then I think we can do some surgery to figure out like what we need to do. So width of 75 looks like that's a good fit for me there, and also the width of this is 75, so it makes sense why that would be 75, right? So again, the width of the card is actually 75. So let's do a width of 75. Okay, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So the C text and the C action. I'm just going to get some lorem ipsum. There's all good kinds of lorem ipsums, but I'm just going to grab Great. Let's just get a sentence. Okay? And you know, in your app, you're going to have like something specific. Maybe I could Google something cool about Megan Rapinoe, but I'll spare y'all of that. Okay, so I'm going to throw that in this p tag here. No, that's not what I wanted. Give me this. This. You go there. Perfect. Thank you. And then let's just put like in the button. They have the word button. Maybe this is mine's sort of like the app that you can like. So I have that soccer screen on the next. Maybe I'll just say like play because I have the players and then play. Okay, so let's see how that's going to render. Okay, so there's a couple things I want to do. This is obviously sort of like getting in the way of my content. We'll figure out how we're going to resolve that in just a moment. We're going to keep going for the time being. So, okay, let's work on this type. So I'm going to want to get a body type. And real quick, I'm just going to get rid of the I'm going to get rid of the background colors here on all of those on the CSS. Because now I'm at a point where I don't really need those. It's kind of just like confusing me. Okay, so my card style, the height is sort of ending here, mainly just because I'm sort of like the height of my content is sort of like going outside of this. So the first thing that I'll do is I think I'm just gonna go and get the card and just make that taller. So let's just give it like 100 VW for the time being, just so we have like a little more space to work. Okay, cool. And then we'll probably make this a little bit smaller because I don't want to have like such a crazy roll of content.